Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating. When a tree falls down and nobody's around, you can bet your ass it won't make a sound. Water ain't wet, you know nothing about hydration. Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating. Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating.
It is Dumb Debates, that time of week where you get to take over the Grum by sending us your debates. It could be anything. It's any topic. It does not matter. We tackle them right here on the Grum. We've got so many great ones over the years from you, the people. You can send them to us into the JTech Construction Zone Twitter page. Please use the hashtag Dumb Debates. It makes it easier for us to find. Or you can email the Grum, John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com, into the Equitable Bank inbox. We appreciate all submissions, and even if we don't get to yours the week it was sent, we do save them. We save them. Like one that I got, I don't even remember when this was. Oh, it's January 17th. It's almost a month old.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
This was from our friend Sky. If you got Beauty and the Beasted and were transformed into one of your household objects, which would you turn into? I guess I'm not familiar with the Beauty and the Beast.
You never saw Beauty and the Beast?
Like the teacups
Beauty
and stuff?
and the Beast.
Like
I thought that was Cinderella.
No, that's Beauty and the
Where the
Beast.
teacups start dancing and stuff.
That's Beauty and the
that's-
Beast.
Beauty, like they talk, they have faces.
Be our
Wow.
guest. Be our guest.
There's the weird horny candlestick. You'd probably like it.
Yeah, John, you would love it.
You'd identify with that candlestick.
It's my mom's favorite Disney movie, if I remember right. She loves Beauty and the Beast.
For some reason, I had that. I thought that was Cinderella or a different Disney movie. I didn't think it was Beauty and the Beast.
Cracky, Josh would turn into a bedroom sink.
All right. I mean, game's over. I cannot beat that. I cannot beat that. That's funny.
Object would I want to turn into? There's a part of me that would want to turn into, I mean, this household object, could that include the car, the family car?
I guess so, because then you could drive around, right?
Yeah, but
Dumb Debates, is a car a household object?
I feel like it's a thing that should be within the house proper.
Well, my car's in the garage. That's inside the house.
Ooh, Dumb Debates. Is the garage part of the house?
Yes,
it
the
is,
garage
Nick.
is part of the house, especially if it's an attached garage. It is part of the house.
But if
it is part of the structural integrity
if
of
it's
the
a
house.
detached garage, is that still part of the house?
Well, no, because it's part of your property, but it's not part of your house because it would be detached. But if it's an attached garage, it is absolutely part of the house.
Dave, Cars is a different animated movie. Yeah, that is a different movie. You just went right to Cars. Let's say, John, that has to be something that is...
I was thinking to be a car, then I could be like that haunted car from the movie Christine, which would be a good movie club selection, by the way. And I could just go around and, run over people that I'm disagreeable with. And then I come back to life, and I'm always playing the same song, and it'll be a rockin' song from AC/DC to drive Nick insane. In fact, that'll be what I do as my car, is I will drive to Nick's house, and I'll turn up my own stereo and just play Hell's Bells all night long.
This is getting worse and worse. Every sentence is somehow worse than the previous sentence.
Yeah.
Mike says, Horny John wants to be a chair to be sat on. John, your thoughts?
No, because I
Sit
don't
on me,
get
Daddy.
Sit on me.
I think being a TV would be fun.
I want people farting in my face.
Well, if you're a TV, though, you couldn't watch yourself. You could just see other people watch
It's
you.
hilarious you say that because Aaron texts in Dumb Debates. If you're a television, can you watch yourself?
No.
Unless you're in
You
front of
can't
a
watch
mirror, I
yourself.
guess.
Yeah, but you can hear what's going on. I guess you have a general idea. It's like listening to the radio. It's like listening to AM radio, but it sounds somehow even more clear.
Well, okay. What if you're just like a chair in a corner of a room? Because then you can see everything.
Interesting, Nick. You want to be in the corner of the room?
Only existence, you just be sitting there. I want to be something that gets used and gets moved around.
I mean, these objects, they can move.
Like what, John? Like a vacuum?
Chairs in a corner move. The only time it gets moved is when you're vacuuming.
No, I'm saying in the if we're Beauty and the Beasted, then I assume we have the same magical properties as the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, they were able to move around and dance, John. They sung songs. Be our guest, be our guest. Dun, 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 dun.
Man,
the candlestick had a thing for the teapot.
I had no idea. I thought the Beauty and the Beast was just about the beast who fell in love with the beauty, and that was it.
Well, yeah, but then there's a side story.
Yeah, John. I mean, that
they're
movie
part of
sounds like it'd be
the
2 minutes long.
So
Uh-huh.
this is the B plot.
Yeah,
There's-
basically.
So the end of Beauty and the Beast, people have Zaprudered this to where
Oh, the Beast gets assassinated in Dallas?
when Beast turns back into the human, there's a frame in that where it looks like what's her name? It's not Belle, is it?
I believe it's Belle.
I think it's Edna. I don't
She
know.
looks disappointed for half a second when he turns into a human from the
I've
Beast.
never seen this before.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'd probably
Okay.
be. I don't know what I would be. A couch.
Well, that's no fun.
No, couch. I'd be a couch because then I
Yeah,
can watch TV.
Sitting on you and farting on you.
I'll be a computer. Computers are fun. They're used all the time. It gets moved around. My computer comes with me to work. It goes on trips.
You want people to play with your mouse pad?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you get touched a lot. That sounds fun. I'm in on being a computer. Jeff in Omaha emails in. If you had to cancel every streaming subscription but one, which one would you keep? You can only have one streaming service. Which is the GOAT?
The problem is too many things are distributed between all of them now. It kind of sucks.
I don't
It's
know what
annoying.
that means, Nick.
Like there used to be like Netflix. There just used to be a bunch of things on Netflix, but then Disney made their thing. So now Disney pulled off their things from Netflix.
That's what the question is. You have to
That's
pick
what
one.
I'm saying is that's why it's annoying now because there used to be a few that at least had multiple.
You're
things.
getting on your soapbox, Nick. This isn't an answer to the question. You just want you're
Hulu.
turning into John. There we go.
Hulu.
You gave us an answer.
Mm.
I think I'm going to go with Max. I mean, pound for pound, it's got great originals. It has an awesome library. It has shows that I adore, and it has a ton of movies. And now it also has other stuff too. You got sports on there, so I'll go with Max.
Man, that is tough.
I assume the Hulu also comes with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
No, it's just one.
It's a bundle, John. It's all together.
It's one. That's streaming. Streaming doesn't bundle. It's not like cable. You can only have one. Man, that is tough.
I still think Hulu's a good pick.
It's a very good pick.
I use Max a lot.
Yeah.
I use Paramount a lot. I use Peacock a lot. Obviously, for Movie Club, we use Netflix a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You would be distraught without the top 10 list.
Oh man, this is. Ooh. I might say Peacock.
Is it because of the wrestling?
Well, that's there, but obviously, I like to watch. Of course, the thing is with the sports packages. Ooh, it's coming down to Peacock or maybe Paramount because obviously
why do you need Peacock?
Well, because there's the sports component. There's a lot of.
But if you
sports
just have
stuff.
regular cable, you can still just watch your stuff on cable. You don't need.
I know.
I know that the picture is better.
I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's
you love that sharp picture on Peacock.
I do. I do love that sharp picture on Peacock. It's boy. Maybe it'll end up being Max just because of what you said, but that is a tough one.
It is.
That is a tough one.
Right, let's see. You got one?
This is the one. The picture for the video. This was sent in by Charlie. This is this handsome family photo. This is new Saints coach Kellen Moore. This very attractive family, and they're standing outside of I think that's the private Saints plane.
Yep.
As they were being whisked to New Orleans for their press conference.
Was that made in Canva?
Was what the picture, the family picture? No, it was taken by a phone camera. I'm guessing.
Not the picture, the background, everything else. Did you
add
add that?
Not. John made it. Nick, what do you think? John's using Canva now?
Maybe John is using in private.
No.
He's dabbling.
This is beautiful, normal PowerPoint. Anyway, that's not the point.
So what is the question that is going to come out of this?
The question
I
from
feel like
Charlie.
This is going to be a horrible question.
Focus on Mr. Moore. Focus on Kellen Moore. Focus on that smile because Charlie asks, Nick, give me the dramatic music, please. If Who has the bigger teeth? Kellen Moore or Josh?
I'm surprised he used a picture of Josh with the beard instead of Josh Sans beard.
Well, this is, of course, this wasn't the picture he sent me. This is from my own personal collection. This is, of course, the greatest picture of Josh that has ever been taken and probably ever will be taken. This is Josh on his vacation where he went to Mexico and then proceeded to stay in the resort and did not bother
like
to
a
go out.
normal person. Like a normal person.
Nick wanted him to.
I'm going to go with Kellen Moore.
Who has the bigger teeth, Kellen Moore or Josh?
He's got a wider mouth, and it exposes more of the teeth.
I have to abstain because it involves my teeth, so I'm sorry. I cannot answer this question. I think it's
Kellen Moore appears to have better-looking teeth.
Wow. Screw you, Kellen.
Well, look out.
Hey, Josh and I go to the same dentist. They're very handsome teeth, Josh.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, I was, just maybe it's just the lighting in the photo.
Yeah, that's what we'll blame.
I gotta go with Kellen Moore here. I think.
Yeah.
Josh's teeth are very distracting, especially when he doesn't have his beard. Because
when the beard is gone, I turn into a teeth monster. Wow. Somebody compared me to Kellen Moore earlier. They said Josh looks like Kellen Moore. Should I shave my beard and go for Kellen Moore for Halloween later this year?
You don't have his hair. Your hair's better than his, Josh.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
What do you mean? He's got good hair.
You don't have the same hairline. Your hairline is better than his.
It is. I do have a better hairline.
It is? Yeah. Josh has like
I don't have a widow's peak.
Head. He's got like a 4.5 head in this picture.
Look at that. No widow's peak.
Forehead. Yeah. Oh my God, look at that. You're going
widow's
bald.
peak. Look at that. Look at all that hair. Look at us.
Yeah, it's still hair. Widow's peak, but it's all going back,
it's not going back at all, John. Look at this.
It's like a Revolutionary War line. Everything's in a straight line. It just keeps going back.
Yeah, but it's not going back. It's just staying forward. Look at that hairline. Amazing stuff.
The hair.
Look at that hair. Email. Did you have another one?
Nope, I'm good.
Let's see. Brandon says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. First, it's scoop. Shovel is the tool. Scoop is the action. You use the shovel to scoop the snow. Now, that's not his dumb debate. His dumb debate is this. When it snows, are you more annoyed at the vehicles that go way too slow or the vehicles that drive way too fast? John, I think I know your answer to this question.
Well, it's way too fast because that's reckless.
Yes.
It is
when
reckless.
The roads are bad, it is reckless. Mm-hmm. If someone's going slow, even if they're going slower than I am, I still respect them because it's like, hey, you know what? I mean, they're taking it careful. And sometimes it makes me think if I'm maybe shouldn't slow down.
Right? Like you're like, crap, do I need to start driving a little slower?
This morning when I was driving into work, I was working my way up a hill and another car that was not 4-wheel drive had slowly turned and I was approaching them in my lane. You know what I did? I wasn't mad at them. I'm like, I need to keep my momentum. So I'm going to go to this lane that's open so I can safely pass them. So then we're all good.
Wow, you're the dangerous driver this morning, huh, Nick?
I don't think I was dangerous. It was more dangerous to slow down because then I would break my momentum and then I might get stuck going up the hill. Yeah. And if they got stuck, they're not going to get my truck out. My truck would have to help them. I was thinking of the people.
No, I think you guys both bring up good arguments. I think driving fast is the more dangerous thing. Nick, I don't think you were driving fast. I think you were driving normally. But I think driving slow, especially depending on how bad the snow is, I think is the safe move and it's okay. Driving fast, I think, if you're being wild out there and you're just passing people to, especially on the interstate, like you can really cause some trouble.
Mm-hmm. If you're in a hurry on days like this when the roads are bad, you either needed to plan better or I don't know what to tell you. Or stay home because, I mean, you got to take it easy. People are reckless when it comes to this, and they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Just to give you an example,
okay,
of how we do save questions back. This is an oldie.
How long is this from?
This is from Star Wars Fiend.
Okay. Oh, where is Star Wars Fiend?
I haven't seen Star Wars Fiend in a minute.
Well, here's the question. It comes with a preface, which will give you an idea of how old this question is.
All right.
Okay.
Since we are all depressed, sky is falling. Husker fans facing a potential 5-7 season for the second year in a row.
Jeez.
Wow. So we're somewhere in November, most likely.
Yes, probably right after the UCLA game.
Yeah.
Which of these losses are still the most hurtful to this day? And out of that, which one would you flip to possibly change the momentum and trajectory of the program? Meaning, if they win, how does that change the outlook of
I
the
love questions like this.
moving forward? So these are the 3 games we choose from. Black Friday, 2001.
Yeah.
Nebraska losing to Colorado 62-36.
Bad times.
Number 2, 2009 Big 12 Championship. 1 second left.
Real bad times.
Number 3, Miami in overtime and the Tommy Armstrong YOLO pass that resulted in a Miami interception and win. I would not have guessed that one.
Don't care about that one.
Star Wars Fiend's a younger fan, so he's probably got a different perspective.
Yeah, don't care about that one.
Than others. So you've eliminated number 3 right away, and I would too, because
who cares? I don't think it changes any fortunes. I don't think anything is markedly different. They already lost the BYU game that year, so again, no offense, Star Wars Fiend.
And I think I think the die was cast on the Mike Riley era the moment he was hired.
100%. 100%.
That was never going to succeed or last, and it's not really a criticism of Mike Riley. It's just the climate that he walked into.
Yeah.
And the incompetence of the person that hired him, and they were going to eventually derail that thing anyway.
Okay, so now we're down to what? Black Friday 01.
So we're down to Black Friday 01 and Big 12 Championship 2009.
So my argument's going to be Big 12 title game. I'll lay out my case. Black Friday game, like if they win it, they're going to the Big 12 Championship. There's still a world where they lose to Texas because they always lost to Texas. And even if they don't, like, I don't really think it changes the Miami game that much different. Like, I don't think they got smoked because they had lost confidence. I think they got smoked because it was Miami. You know, maybe they don't lose by as many points, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that changes history as much because they were already going down a certain path. I've asked this question a million times about the 09 Big 12 title. If they win that game, do they leave the conference? I don't know. I don't know.
I think there is a probability that's pretty high that they don't.
So if that, I mean, think about
which sounds very short-sighted, given that the reasons for leaving was conference stability. But there was a lot of emotion going in at that time. And we have seen a lot of moves made in college athletics that should have bigger picture thinking behind it, but seems to have shorter term motivation that's driving it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just saying there is a good probability that things work out differently and at least stems, the momentum. Certainly it could have been, to the level where Nebraska isn't as aggressive going after the Big Ten, and maybe Missouri does get that invite because Jim Delaney was still going to, desire to expand, it was his announcement that really kind of set everything off. But it could put Missouri in a better situation because they would have been a natural fit too in that conference.
100%. And so, like, I think the ramifications of that are much more far-reaching. And then if you just look on the field, they finally get over the hump. They finally win a conference. What does it do for recruiting? Does Bo actually leave earlier, or does it like make his era better because they suddenly have gotten over the hump? I mean, does Ndamukong Suh win the Heisman, or does that swing enough voters where he wins the Heisman? Plus, you end the streak. Like, instead of the last conference title, game or conference title win being 99, it's 2009. So I just think it's much more interesting to know what would happen.
It's much more interesting what would happen. Let's flip your argument over to 2009.
Okay.
Could you make the argument that Bo Pelini is still going to sabotage himself, or his demeanor is still going to cause issues, whether they win that game or not? Because, is it just changing, when that moment happens where Bo goes off? Would there still have been an audio tape? Would there still be, embarrassing home losses? Or the moments against Wisconsin, for example. And again, some people are assuming that winning this game might keep the Huskers in the Big 12. I'll argue from the standpoint of, let's pretend that there is big picture thinking in this and Nebraska still ends up in the Big 10.
Yeah.
even if they win this 2009 game. Does that necessarily change how Bo's teams performed against Wisconsin?
Great question.
For example.
Yeah.
They're both interesting. I think the argument on 2001 is pretty solid because you're right. The Colorado game happened, but that was something that was going to happen. Miami was going to win that year no matter what.
Yes.
And so all we might have been doing is kicking the can down the road a couple of games to where, the exposure of Nebraska as a program that is on the decline happens in the Rose Bowl versus happens in Boulder. Then, you do wonder now if they beat Colorado, they win the Big 10 or Big 12 championship. That gives Frank 2 conference titles in 3 years.
Wow. Yeah, it does.
Does that make it harder then for Steve Peterson to come along and fire Frank?
Well, and there's some people.
Bill Byrne was still the athletic director.
I was going to say, aren't there some people, John, who thought Bill Byrne got out of Dodge when he did? Not to go to somewhere with more money, but because he maybe was seeing what was coming down and he didn't want to be the guy that had to fire Frank.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, though. I still think, I still think Bill would have left it at some point.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting argument. I could see reasons for both. Actually, I'm talking myself out of both of either one being the
You're
answer.
picking the Miami game?
No, I'm not picking the Miami game. But as we talk through these arguments, I still think that some of the faults that lied in those programs would still have been exposed. It just would have changed the timeline.
Yeah.
I guess for this, so on that point, I think I will take the 2009 Big 12 championship only because it would have given Nebraska a middle finger to the rest of the league when they walked out the door.
Hey, that's a great point. Yeah. And maybe John,
granted, they didn't walk out the door until after the following season, but you still would have been able to say, hey, we got you guys before we left Dodge.
Yeah, and also, is there a world, John, where they're not wound so tight against Texas because they had already beat them and Bo Pelini doesn't go yell at somebody in the basement of the Cornhusker Hotel, Many are wondering. Many are wondering. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Aaron Papillion, what's worse, stubbing your toe, jamming your finger, biting your lip, poking yourself in the eye? I think stubbing my toe has been the most painful.
Stubbing my toe for sure. I stubbed my toe on the bed a couple weeks ago, and there's still a little. I can feel it a little bit still.
I think the answer is stubbing your toe. I haven't jammed my finger, knock on wood, in many, many years. That was always like a basketball thing, playing football or basketball growing up, But stubbing your toe, it affects your walking. Stubbing your finger hurts, but I'm not dealing with that.
Right, but if you're typing a lot on the computer or
That's
you're
true.
Having to write things or things like that, I would say while the stubbing of the toe makes walking more uncomfortable, and you do a lot of walking, it just affects how you get from place to place. But by jamming your finger, it could affect how you actually try to operate. Right? It's almost like and it also depends on the finger too. I would agree that stubbing your toe of the 4 is the most painful usually, and usually the longest lasting. Obviously, if you bite your tongue, that hurts and it's very intense for a short period of time, but eventually it goes away in shorter order. What was poking yourself in the eye? That's another one. That's like biting your tongue. It's just it's really, really annoying in the moment and for a few moments afterwards, but it goes away a lot faster.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to those first two. I probably am going to take stubbing your toe because that one hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
I think worse than any of the others, especially if you did it, how you did it. I had a friend, I was mentioning, I have a friend who's going through some knee rehab because he recently had surgery. And he was telling me about how he was he's trying to adjust to walking with a cane instead of using crutches to get around. And he had lost his balance a little bit. And when he trying to gain his balance, he jammed his cane into his toe.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So he's trying to plant the cane on the ground to get
Oh.
balance, but he missed the floor and hit his big toe.
Ouch. No, thank you.
So he's dealing with both what he thinks is a broken toe and a knee injury recovery.
Good God.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No
Nat
thanks.
Fun.